One second. We're live on YouTube. You're all set.
All right, good evening. I call today's meeting of the Public Works Committee to order. It's 9:14 at 6 p.m. Would the clerk please call the roll?
I can call the roll. Mr. Brewski.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
Mr. Cleary.
Here.
Mr. Fine.
Here.
Mr. Peter.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Bergdorf.
Here.
Mr. Purley.
Here.
And Mr. Reinhardt.
Here.
All present.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all of our members for joining this meeting on short notice to consider this this resolution that we have coming up that was received out of sequence. The first and only item on our agenda today is authorizing an easement with the town of Colony regarding the water main location of the Albany International Airport. And we are joined by Ms. Quinn. Ms. Quinn, welcome.
Thank you, Legislator Brewski and members of the committee. And I think more importantly, I think the Phillips Medical Facility thanks you more as they are trying to expand their facility. You may have seen a number of articles in various publications that they're doing a $13+ million investment in expanding their facility in Colony. What they do is they manufacture component parts that are part of MRI systems. They plan to add approximately 100 jobs over the next several years. And the Phillips facility reached out to the authority recently because they need additional gate access. And that requires the relocation of an existing water main through the town of Colony. So what we're requesting today is that that water main easement be allowed in exchange for the easement, which is required under section 3.1 of the lease agreement between the county and the authority. There needs to be some consideration given for the easement. So the Phillips facility has agreed to contribute $50,000 towards the repaving of the roadway that runs between Kelly Road and the cargo facility. They've also taken down several trees and are in the process of taking down several more, which is a problem for the facility. And in addition, we're looking to have them be a part of future repaving issues, considering they're taking very, very heavy trucks through the easement area on a regular basis.
Okay, and it's my impression that any damage that would be done to the road is going to be paid how by the Phillips group, or what's the story with that? Ms. Quinn, are you still with us? All right, we might have some technical issues with Ms. Quinn.
It's a technical issue.
Are there any other questions from the membership on this issue? I see Mr. Bergdorf has one.
It was really a question for Ms. Quinn. What I'd like to know is whether or not the expansion of Phillips is being paid for by either the Albany County IDA or the Colony IDA, and that this $50,000.
Mr. Bergdorf, could you just hold on?
Legislator Bergdorf, I'm just getting back online right now. I don't know.
Hi, Christine. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good, good. What I wanted to know was, is the expansion of Phillips being paid for by any public benefit corporation, Colony IDA, Albany County IDA, Local Development Authority, et cetera, so that the $50,000 that they are going to contribute for the paving of the road is actually a tax credit or a benefit through a public financing mechanism.
So I will say this, they are receiving tax credits for the expansion. I believe, and you can read this in various publications, to the tune of $1 million or so. And that is to ensure that they are going to maintain some sort of an increase in employees, as I stated, but nothing, as far as I'm aware, Albany County or no IDAs have given, unless you're aware otherwise, have given them any money for this expansion.
Christine, where are they getting $1 million from?
I believe it's EDC.
Okay.
But I
Do
can
we
certainly,
know-
I can certainly share the article with you. I can email it to you.
Well, I'm not worried about emailing. I just wonder, it's very easy for someone to say they're putting up $50,000 to repave the road. If they're getting it from the government to repave the road, it's sort of disingenuous. So I'd like to know whether the company is putting up the money or whether it's being done with state grant money or any other.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that's the case. I certainly can't speak in authority on that. However, all of the grant money they've already received has been based on grant applications that are years past. And this matter has come up within the last 3 or 4 months. And they have been hopeful that the authority and the county will grant them the easement, which just literally relocates a water main, because they already have an existing easement, to be clear. This will just move their easement so they have better access.
I'm not opposed to the project, or I'm not opposed to the creation of jobs or the expansion of opportunity. But I would hope we are not being disingenuous when we're saying the company is going to come up with $50,000.
Yeah, no, I understand. I don't think the company would use money in a way that isn't an appropriate use of the money.
Christine, can you just follow up on that for us? Not tonight, but afterwards, because I understand what Paul is saying, that either, they're looking like they're giving us 50,000 or they're not. So we just would like to know whether they are or that's actually grant money. And I don't think it's going to slow anything down tonight, but I agree with Paul, let's know where the money's coming from.
Well, unfortunately, it is going to slow us down, or it's not going to slow us down, because this is going to be done
So
last night. So, I mean,
if I could just interject, and I think, Paul, you certainly know the grant process, and it's extremely cumbersome, and it requires you to detail very specifically the amounts you're going to use money for in specific ways. And this was not something that was considered as far as that whole grant process. But I can certainly provide you with backup information to explain that to you. I don't think Phillips was anticipating expending this money whatsoever.
I have a motion by Mr. O'Brien. Is that right? Or is that a question?
It's going to be a question. It's if we table this tonight, does this create any problems Christine?
It does create a problem. Phillips is in the process of their expansion, and tabling this tonight will move it to October. And then we're talking about colder weather and possible inability to move an existing water main and slowing up the expansion at the Phillips facility.
Well, with respect to blacktopping, that they're open at least till November 1st. So, I mean,
It's not so much the, yeah, and with all due respect, it's not the blacktopping as much, I think, as it is the relocation of the water main.
okay. I make a motion to move this,
I
Nathan.
will second it.
Motion by Mr. Bryan, second by Mr. Cleary. All those in favor say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed, say no. That carries unanimously.
Thank
Thank you very
you,
much,
gentlemen.
Ms. Quinn.
Chairman, I would appreciate if Christine would communicate to Phillips and to the airport authority that if they say Phillips has agreed to expend up to $50,000 in costs, that we read that to mean Phillips has agreed to expend $50,000 in costs, not $50,000 in grant money from a municipality. And so I would ask that Ms. Quinn communicate that to the authority and to Phillips.
So moved. Very point well taken there. All right, thank you very much, Ms. Quinn. Thank you for the
Okay.
conversation tonight. Do I have a motion to adjourn our meeting?
Motion
by
made.
Mr. Peter, and second by Mr. Cleary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Call this meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, and we will see you all shortly.